Are you recording?
Okay, it's recorded. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this group, we have information about between HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Okay, before we get to that, I would like to introduce myself and my friend as well. Okay, first, my name is Ane Bentuan Izam. My metric number is 18DDT19F1015. Then I'll pass on to my friends. Ifat?
Hello, my name is Irfan Shafiq bin Hisham. My matrix number is 18 DDT 20F2031. And now I'll let my other friend does it, Marsha.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Marsha Ermina binti Ahmad Edward. My metric number is 18DDT20F1032.
Okay, thank you, Masha and Ifan. Okay, I would like to introduce about first of all, which is HTML. For HTML, or which is full name known as Hypertext Markup Language, which is known as a standard markup language for document which is designed for display in a web browser. Also, it can be assisted by technologies such as Cascadian Style Sheet, which is CSS, and scripting language such as JavaScript. For this, for web browser, it was the HTML documents received from a web server or from a local storage, and render the documents into a multimedia web page. It describes the structure for the web page schematically and originally included cues for appearance of the documents. Also, for this for HTML elements are building blocks for the HTML page. With constructs of this HTML, image and other objects such as interactive forms may be embedded into a render page. Also, HTML also provides a mean to create a structured document by denoting structural semantics for text, such as headings, paragraphs, lists, links, quotes, and any other items. This element defined by tags, reading by using angle brackets. It directs introduction content into a page, and other tags such as P and surroundings, and provide information about document text and may include other text as sub-elements. Browsers do not display the HTML text, but use them to interpret the content of the page. Also, for problems for this one and for HTML and the rest of them, just CSS and JavaScript are the three are very important as well. But I will get to that in the end of this video. Okay, for this, now I'll move on to a what's the difference. What's the difference between for HTML, the difference for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML, which is a created structure type, it usually controls the layout for the context. And also, the structures for the web page, which is for design it, are also provided. Also, the fundamental part of this building block of for any many web page that you can do. So that's it for me for introduction and also the difference for HTML. I would like to pass on to my friend, which is Ifan, to learn to know about CSS. Ifan, take away.
All right, thank you, Anil. Now it's my turn to explain what is CSS. CSS, or should I call it Cascading Style Sheet. Cascading Style Sheet is a style sheet language used for describing the presentation of a document written in a markup language such as HTML or XML. CSS is also a cornerstone technology of the World Wide Web alongside HTML and JavaScript. CSS is also designed is enable the separation of a presentation and content, including layout, colors, and font. This separation can improve content accessibility, provide more flexibility, and control in specification of presentation characteristic. Now that I'm done with the introduction of CSS, I will talk about the difference for CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. CSS, or I would like to call it, a customization for your HTML. For example, HTML is basically you creating a structure for your foundation. After you're done building your layouts, how you want to place your stuff, CSS will help you customize the inside of the foundation itself. So it's basically apply styles to a web page element, target various screen sizes to make the web page responsive, primarily handles the look and feel of the web page. The difference between CSS and JavaScript, I will not get too much. I will let my friend Marshall handle it. But the difference between them is that JavaScript will actually help increase their interactivity between CSS and JavaScript, basically adding more function. And I think I'm done for the difference of JavaScript. Now I'm letting my friend Marsha, she will take it over. Thank you.
Okay, this is my turn. I'm gonna talk about JavaScript. JavaScript is a logic-based programming language that can be used to modify website content and make it behave in different way in response to a user action. Common use for JavaScript include confirmation box, call to action, and adding new identities to existing information. Now, I want to talk about advantages and disadvantages about JavaScript. For advantages, there are three of them. Number one is JavaScript is the one most popular scripting language in the world, and almost every programmer is familiar with it. And number two, compared to other programming language, it very easy and quick to learn. Number three, JavaScript is incredibly versatile, allowing for another anything from a simple drop-down menu to a full-blown video game adventure. And for this disadvantages, number one, adding too much interactive content to your website with JavaScript might cause it to take longer to load. Try to find the right balance. And number two, as a client-based language, this in JavaScript is a wraps run the risk lower of security and malicious abuse. Number three, another downside of it being client side also means that there might be a slight differences depending on the browser. And I'm going to talk about the differences of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. For HTML, it is used to create a structure, and CSS is to stylish the website. And for JavaScript, which means I'm talking about, is for increase the interactivity of the website. That's all from me.
Okay. Thank you, Masha, Ifan. Okay, in this conclusion for this one, HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, those two are important, just like a human body. First of all, HTML is for a body, the human body. Well, JavaScript is a brain of it, which is has the ability to move ourselves, and CSS, which is those attachments for customs, which is for anything you want. With all those three, they cannot be to make a human form, and also just like in a web page. So yeah. So also we'd like to thank you and enjoy this video. Also and also thanks for Ifa and Masha. Thank you taking part as well. And also me. And also thank you and goodbye everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.